Hey everybody, my name's Matt, and I'm a bit of a newbie to the ranked ladder. Last season, I played maybe a handful of games, but I never really got into it. I was always kind of a little bit intimidated by ranked and putting a number associated with my skill and beside my profile. When you do that, when you kind of like grade yourself or let the game grade you, it kind of becomes a little bit scary because you don't want to lose it, but if you don't play, it decays over time anyway, so you're kind of forced to kind of maintain and grow. So this season I decided to do a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to play at least 5 ranked games a week, either through solo queue or duo queue, and then at the end of the week I'm going to summarize them basically based on what I learned. I'm going to go through each game that I played, and then I'm going to pick the one that I think was the best, either a win or a loss, and then go through it, point out some key features, and hopefully you guys can learn alongside me. I'm also going to set a goal for the next week afterwards just to keep myself motivated and give me a chance to flesh out my play into areas that I may not have tried out before. So let's get started, shall we? This week was a little bit weird because I was hoping to kind of set the tone for the rest of my ranked career. I went through a couple of placement matches, I went through 5, and I ended up going 2 wins, 3 losses. I kind of wanted to start off by doing a lot of carry rolls, which is something that I don't normally do because I'm not a very aggressive player. I don't usually know what the capabilities of my champions are and when to go in for kills, that kind of thing. So I started off with 2 carries, and then by the end of the week I'd kind of regressed back into the support role that I like playing a lot. Because with support I feel that even if I don't get kills, I can still feel useful to the team. Game 1 I played Morgana mid. We ended up losing this game just because it wasn't really an even match, let's put it that way. Our bottom lane, which was a Draven and Leona, spent more time disconnected than they did actually in the game, so it became a bit of a problem when they fed Ezreal 6 kills early, and the game kind of spiraled outwards from there. We couldn't really do anything 3v5. This was kind of one of those lost cause cases that no one really likes to play but runs into every once in a while. My only really advice is that if you know that you're in a region or if you're in a situation where your internet connection may not be the most stable, if it spikes or if you're prone to disconnects, please don't play ranked because you kind of affect the games and the scores of 4 other people, which kind of sucks. So maybe stick to normal, because that'd be great. As I said before, this game was a loss. I went 0-2-1 and had 92 CS. Game 2, I played Graves in the bottom lane. I've been playing Graves a lot in the AD carry role, and I find that while I can farm well with him, I don't usually get the kills that kind of make me snowball and get great items. Sure, I can farm up to those items eventually, but people with kills seem to get them a lot faster. I was laning against a Misfortune, and one of the things that I learned this game was positioning, just because not having specific vision and letting Misfortune roam let her catch up to the farm lead that I had gained for myself. Because the other team was relatively tanky, actually very tanky, even though I had things like a Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, I was working my way to the Infinity Edge once the game ended. I couldn't really do any damage to the other team just because I didn't have that kills, I didn't have the early advantage. I probably also should have rushed a Infinity Edge instead of going Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, just because those extra crits probably would have helped a little bit more early on when people weren't as tanky. I also learned that in team fights I want to position myself at the back of the pack, just because if I'm near the middle, it's going to take me a longer time to get to a kind of safe zone where the enemy team can't pursue me. So even if I have to use flash, quick draw, there's less distance to cover and less time until I get safe, as opposed to, you know, the enemy team just kind of cutting a path through our tank line and killing me terribly. Despite 318 CS, I went 5-7-6, and this game was a loss. With Game 3, I decided to go back to where I was comfortable and start playing support again, and I picked up Leona for this game. This game kind of started my ward obsession. I bought 23 wards over the course of this game, and it led to my first ranked win. Because of those wards, I was able to pick positions that covered multiple lanes of entry for junglers and gankers and that kind of thing, so my team was able to relatively feed the people that needed to, and ended up leaving the game with 1 kill, 7 deaths, and 22 assists. The only other thing from this game was that our Fiora, despite not really having a lot of CC, was kind of an effective jungler. She did end up picking up a quadra kill, which was kind of cool. However, she did have a penchant to get caught out, which sucks. Game 4 was another Leona game, and it's my pick for my favorite game of the week. I went 1-0-12 on a route to another victory. This was great just because I love deathless games so much. It makes me feel like I'm actually doing my job right. And again, it was a very big ward game. I didn't buy as many wards just because the game didn't go on as long, but having properly placed wards meant that our junglers could come in at their leisure and the enemy junglers could pretty much just leave bottom lane alone. Despite having, despite partnering with a Vayne against a superior poke lane of Varus and Lux, we managed to feed our Vayne the kills that she needed in order to grab reins, if you will, grab the reins of the game and carry us to victory. Another big thing that I learned playing Leona is that zoning is a big deal, especially when you're playing champions like Maokai, Leona, and Blitzcrank, where you can cover a lot of distance very quickly. I didn't even have to throw out my Zenith Blade in bottom lane that often, just because the threat of it being there was really scary, and that's why people don't like playing against blitzes a lot, because he doesn't even have to throw out a hook. He can just plant himself in that bush, and even if the other team has warded it, they know that, you know, Blitz can just grab him in at a moment's notice if they go in. I played my 5th game on Thursday. I was a Soraka to a Corki in the bottom lane. So I played a little bit of a support role again, decided to go away from the Leona to something with a little bit more heal, a little less passive, or a little more passive rather. I don't really like playing Soraka all that much, just because she is very cooldown dependent, and when I've blown on my cooldowns, I feel that I'm not very useful otherwise. So I have 2 heals and exhausts. Maybe I should show Summoner Heal this game. But otherwise, our team wasn't very tanky. So their tanks were able to just kind of cut through our line, kill me, kill our carry, separate us very easily. And they also had a lot of utility with their tanks. So they had Aurelia, who was able to dash in. They had Malphite, who was able to ultimate in with the Unstoppable Force. We had Cho'Gath that seemed to land rupture after rupture after rupture on our team, which of course led into that Unstoppable Force. So it was a huge kind of AoE and bruisery lineup, which caused a lot of problems for us. So this ended up in a loss. I ended the game with 2-8-13 record, and this was actually the last game of my placement. I ended this game with a 1205 ranking when the game ended. So that's actually it for the ranked games that I played this week. I'm going to jump over to my computer here in order to show you that 4th Leona game that I was talking to you about, the one where I didn't die, and I can show you a little bit about zoning, warding, and just making sure that your carry is taken care of. Okay, so I've got LOL replay up here on my computer. I'm just going to shrink my window down so you guys can still see me while I'm watching the video. Basically, I've got this paused, just watching the replay. I've got a number of things in my handy-dandy notebook, which we are going to just fast forward in order to avoid watching the whole game. The first one is 2 minutes and 25 seconds in. I'm just going to zoom in on myself here and fast forward things until we get to that point. Go up to 8 here. So just slowing things down, actually, I'm lane partnering with the Vayne here. We are facing a Lux and a Varus in lane, which normally, as I was saying before, is usually a very big support, or poke lane rather. So we're going to go in here. It's kind of a tense standoff here. Both supports kind of in the bush. Then we fast forward a little bit. We're going to see that Varus and Lux are going to get pushed back just a little bit, just because Vayne's going to kill some creeps, and then I'm going to seize the bush. This is important because especially for supports that have hooking abilities or things that can close the gap really quickly, like Leona or Maokai, or we don't really see Maokai support that often, but more likely Blitzcrank, you're going to see you got to seize the bush. You have to seize the bush that's right over here in order to keep them zoned out. And the cool thing is here is that even though minions are dying, our minions are dying, Varus is not getting any XP. We give up first blood, of course, in top lane. However, I also put a ward right here, which is important because it's still in the bush so that they can't see it. However, it's giving me max vision of the enemy lane as well. So even though if they're being zoned out, they can't use the Fog of War to their advantage, and that's something that we want to press. So I'm going to pause again. we're going to be coming up to our first kill here. This is me getting a little impatient and seeing a little bit of an opening. Actually, there's a bit of a story behind this. Varus apparently disconnected or bugged, so he just kind of walked out in front of all of us, and really I couldn't not take that advantage. Vayne manages to pick up first blood, and then I take the opportunity that Varus isn't here in order to place the first ward of the game. The second ward of the game, rather, here at Dragon. So I'm going to pause again, give us our field of vision. You notice that we can't exactly see Dragon because of these rocks that are being placed. I like this ward placement because it can see the entrance into Dragon. Unless they use a flash or something to come in over the wall, we're going to be able to see people going to Dragon, which is the same thing as Dragon being done. Really, in the early stages of this game, we want to catch people out coming to Dragon, not doing it. It doesn't matter if we know if Dragon's there or not. We want to know if people are there so that we can come in and kind of crush them. It also has the advantage of being able to see the blue ramp, so if someone's coming to steal blue, and it'll catch any ganks coming down from the river early, as opposed to late. So if I placed my ward, maybe let's say here, if we had a high mobility jungler, we wouldn't know that they were coming up the river until maybe here instead of all the way up here. So this gives us more time to react, and I place my last ward. I usually start with 3 wards. I place my last ward at the corner of the tri-brush here so that it covers not only this area but down this lane as well, so that we can just get as much warning as possible in order to remain safe, rather. So I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. My next point is in about a minute from now. So actually I'm going to hit plus instead of minus. That'd be great. So Varus eventually comes back to lane, and this is what something that I really wanted to point out is bush control. So again, even though we have a ward here, even though we have wards, I want to make sure that we still have bush control. So Lux can't get in, start poking us, or Varus coming in and start poking us as well. So you can see that they're scared now. Their creep wave is running down. We're getting new creeps in, but Varus and Lux are kind of scared because they don't want to be left alone. I see that Varus is alone here, so I just walk in, hit him with my Q, pop my Eclipse, and then walk out. Sometimes it's not worth using your Zenith Blade in order to initiate right away, just because it can be used as a viable kind of escape, especially if there's champions that come in around to gank. Excuse me. I think it's a little bit more farming here. We're going to fast forward another 2 minutes. A couple more kills happen. Again, we can see Yorick coming down just because of the wards that I placed earlier. We can see Yorick in the bush here because of the wards that I placed earlier. A little bit of an initiation there, a little bit of a skirmish. Everyone's relatively low. We get pushed back a little bit. But here I walk into the bush despite having the minions following me so they can see me. I'm gonna seize control of the bush again. Actually, sorry, this was another part of my notes. So I'm gonna be back here. I think I have enough for an early Philostone. So I'm gonna be in order to get some more wards, which is definitely important. Vayne's going to just get caught out a little bit here. However, I'm going to come back and be able to drive off the enemy team. We farm at tower for a little bit. My wards are out at the moment and I haven't placed them in a while, which sucks, but Vayne is just going to clear out this wave, and then we're going to press out. I'm going to put a ward in the river bush just because I don't want to press out too far, and then I seize the bush again. I'm going to place another ward, I believe, in my opponent's bush, rather. And then we're just going to keep going. Just want to check my notes here. We're coming up onto a point where I didn't notice Yorick come in through lane. This was my mistake, just because I had pretty much tunnel visioned on either staying in between Varus and Vayne. And I just wanted to make sure that Lux was still there. I think my camera angle might have cropped him out as well. So I don't see Yorick coming in here until a little too late. There's some pings coming out as well. You can see that the enemy team has gone in. I didn't know why. I was able to stun some of them with my ultimate, and then just pretty much 8 auto attacks until Vayne was able to get out. Vayne didn't have any mana at this point either. A lot of pings coming out. I think Shyvana comes in at this point in order to counter gank. We dive in. I managed to get 1 kill for 1. Vayne and Varus trade a kill each. Shyvana's going to come in, do some auto attacks, but she doesn't really have the amount of damage that we need to kill at the moment. She manages to hit 6. Going to start charging up the ferocity for the Dragon's Descent. Actually, she gets a full bar automatically. I forgot. I'm just going to chill in the bush. And I can see that Varus has gone back as well, so I do a little bit of support versus support here. Just keep them threatened, keep them pushed back and away from pushing the lane. Varus is back, so I just back off into the bush again. I know that's not warded at the moment. I still have this bush warded from before. We're going to come up to a... Again, look, Varus is zoned out completely here. He's missing out on some experience, missing out on some CS just because he knows I'm in the bush and doesn't want to get caught out by both me and Vayne. That's one of those kind of minor snowball advantages that you need to push on early, especially in the early stages of the game where levels can mean a difference. Vayne has a level advantage on Varus here, and he's not able to get any CS as well. So I'm just going to walk in, look, I just walk in, don't even have to pop any skills, and he runs away. I didn't even need to pop my Eclipse, and you know, he's scared now. So he's missing CS. We've frozen the lane all at our turret. We can farm at our leisure here. We're losing in kills at this point, but that's not a bad thing. It's still only 2 kills. We're winning. We're, you know, nearly winning in gold. I managed to Zenith Blade in onto Varus. Vayne just pops her ultimate, does a crap load of damage. I managed to nail him perfectly with my ultimate, and we pick up 1 kill on Varus. Varus is 1-3 and at this point has 35 CS, and Vayne has 84. So that's kind of an indication of how well we're doing anyway. I'm just going to fix the lanes a little bit here. Our Teemo wasn't doing the best. Again, there's another kill onto Teemo. We're going to be... I roam mid at this point after B'ing in order to... just because I see Morgana's there. I realized our lane was pushed, and I just wanted to do something else, I think. Maybe might have not been the best idea. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'm coming around. I see Morgana, rather, is overextended. She doesn't know I'm here, so she goes in on Fizz. I land a Zenith Blade onto her Black Shield, manage to stun her, and basically she fail flashes over the wall. The exhaust comes out, which I had taken before, and Fizz manages to get a kill, which brings him back into the mid-race, if you will. I see Yorick here. I just kind of chase him off with my presence, level up in the process, and then head back bottom. I'm going to meet Lux down here at Dragon, exchange a little bit of pleasantries, and then kind of not zone her out, but I can prevent her from... Oh, we flash back in. I managed to get the flash auto... Actually, I'm going to rewind that a little. Fizz comes back in. Fizz knows that Lux is here because I've seen him and our ward's there. I'm going to flash in. And actually, no. I missed my Zenith Blade, but I'm going to flash in and I'm going to Q. Fizz is able to get the kill. I waste my ult. Go back into lane. Ward a little bit. This is important. I actually ward red, which if you've got an advantage and you know that your team has driven them back, if you know the enemy team is back, it's worth warding this red corridor because you can take Dragon extremely safely, because people coming through the jungle at least have to pass by here, or they have to risk coming in through mid, which if there's minions there, there's a good chance you'll see them. The only real avenue they have is going through here, and if you've pulled your Dragon out, you're pretty much in prime fighting position over here. So we go back to the tower a little bit here. We've whittled the tower down a lot. We see Yorick coming in, I believe, from... Nope, never mind. We don't see this until Yorick gets caught out by the ward here. But we know that now there are four members, rather, of the blue team. They drop a pink, I believe, to start counteracting my wards. Fizz manages to get another kill onto Morgana, so he's 4-2-0 at the moment. We see a bunch of them in this tri-bush. We've got 3, but Shyvana's kind of low health. Riven's going to start charging Shyvana. I managed to stun Riven despite her using her Wind Slash. We've got 2 more members here. Managed to land her into the Solar Flare, and then we just kind of clean up from here. Actually, I don't believe we get any kills. I managed to get out very, very low, but we don't exchange anything. We get chased by a Riven Ghost, but at that point, they're scared of Vayne. They don't want full health Vayne on their tail. Nice tumble by Vayne there. Teemo manages to push down a tower, so he is relatively useful. Vayne decides to go in with that the Hunter's Call? Hunter's Call. Final hour, close enough. Fizz manages to kind of dipsy doodle in there as well. I stun Yorick just to make sure that he doesn't come in with any ghouls. Lux probably wants that laser really badly, but he's just going to toss out some loosen singularities. I'm going to be out at the moment. Max range, dodge that. Managed to get 2 GP5s. Work on my Mercury Treads. Buy 2 more wards. Kind of getting into the closing portions of this game. They surrendered, I believe, at 24, but again, another ward gets picked up here. I didn't clue in to the fact they had a pink. These guys are going to come in and try to head me off the pass. However, York's going to come in and kill my ward. I just decided to walk in and stun Lux, even though I didn't know that Riven was there. I managed to use my Zenith Blade backwards in order to stun Riven and make sure that she can't take away Vayne. Manages to get a decent amount of damage down onto to Riven, or to Vayne rather. I'm really low, but at this point I think, you know what, I'm just gonna go back in. I see Varus there try to land a Solar Flare. It misses. I see 2 members backing. We don't see that actually. Riven, I believe, left as well, and she was primarily the primary damage dealer there. Excuse me. So we're just gonna kind of wait for them to catch up, push the lane a little bit, and then back out. We lose a turret, but then we follow the mid. A lot of pings. Lux just stood around way too long. I think I managed to get... Oh, nice Zenith Blade. And then my stun didn't register until she flashed over the wall, which is a bit weird. We're going to dive them in about 21:45. So I'm going to follow myself here. Speed up a little bit. Back out. I think I pick up a Shirelia's. Actually, my Mercury Treads and Ruby Crystal. Alright, maybe they dive us. Yeah, they dive us. So I eat everything. I just ate a light binding, I ate a dark binding. Just gonna dive into 3 of them here. They're all really grouped up, which is not a good idea. There's the Solar Flare right on top of them. We managed to take out Varus very quickly. Fizz manages to get the Chum the Waters out onto Morgana, and then 3 of them fall very quickly. So Vayne gets a double kill. Vayne is currently now 7-1-1. We just decide to push down 2 towers here. I managed to assist on that kill. I'm very low just because I managed to get a Zenith Blade onto Yorick. We're going to back up there actually and watch that a little bit better. So I'm really low. Yorick really wants to kill. Zenith Blade onto Yorick. And then the rest of the team just kind of cleans it up despite having a Ghost there. The Ghost really isn't able to do anything. And I just be out because I know that I'm really low health. Vayne is kiting people and chugging potions at the moment. Manages to get a Bloodthirster, which probably helped her a lot. Just bought it, actually. I don't know what she's doing here, but she decides to use her final hour to try to take down Varus. Lux falls, but Riven is here, who is doing a lot of damage to our team. Manages to take down Oh, nice flash over to with Shyvana. I realize I don't buy wards, and then walk back into Fountain in order to pick some up. I'm 0-0 and 10 at the moment. I believe this is the final engagement of the fight, or the match rather. Actually I'm gonna hit backspace just because I really liked. Shyvana's really low. I pop Shirelia's in order to give her the movement speed boost out, just because you can use Shirelia's very defensively like that, just to make sure that people can peel out. And I'd rather Shyvana be alive and being able to help us than not. Block the Dark Binding. We're just waiting for the rest of our team here at this point. Zenith Blade in onto Riven. I know that Riven's pretty much the highest priority target at the moment. Chum the Waters lands on Morgana. She isn't able to get the full charge of her ultimate. Fizz dies to the laser. However, we just chase down this Lux. I believe I have my Zenith Blade up. Doesn't look like it. Want some fun? 10-2 at the moment. And then I believe the surrender comes out right now. So there's a 4-1 against surrender. And boom. So this week I learned 3 things. The first is that placing wards well is just as important as buying them in the first place. The second one is that if you're playing an aggressive support like Leona, Blitzcrank, something like that, you want to establish bush control, not only to, make it easier for you to land your skill shots, but to zone enemies out of early game gold and experience when it's arguably the most important. Also, if you're going to be aggressive, be aware of your kit and how tanky you are. There's nothing worse than diving into a team fight and getting blown up right away, except maybe hanging around the edge of a team fight when you know you could survive. Next week's goal is to win a game with a carry and actively contribute in kills towards the victory. I'm tired of getting carried, and I think it's time that I start pulling my weight. Thanks for watching the first week of ELO Rocky. I hope you like what you saw. I'll be back next week, but for now I think I'm going to go celebrate with some bacon pancakes. Have a good day, everyone.
Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes.